there's all kinds of ways you can talk to your customers, but these are the tools that I generally recommend to people who run online businesses. Yeah, I couldn't get the clicker working. So just I won't spend too much time on this, but these are basically online tools. So Olark, a lot of you have probably seen them. It's like a simple little chat widget at the bottom of your website, and it allows people to basically ask for help. And a lot of times people put a specific prompt question just saying like, how did you find us? Or do you understand this page? And it's free, so it's a great tool to start with. If you want something that's a little bit more powerful, there's Qualaroo. Looks very similar on the site, but it allows for more customized questions on each page within your site and more of a survey type question. So it's a great tool for getting specific information. If you have a relationship with your customers where you have an email address or you want to pop up a specific question within your site, Wufoo Forms is a really nice way of doing it. I haven't used it for a while. I think there's a free version, but if not, there's a very inexpensive version. Yeah, and Google Forms is just a great tool to start with, especially if you've got a relationship with customers and you want to grab information on an ongoing basis. But this just all falls under the heading of talk to your customers. Talk to people as much as possible and ask them specifically, what do you think is going on this page? Do you understand what I'm saying, what I'm selling? And just understand the gap, because that is where you lose customers on your site, is when there's a message mismatch from the expectation that people have either on coming to your site or moving within your site. When they go to your pricing page, they expect to see pricing. They don't expect to see feature page. Go ahead.
Do you have any tips on driving better interaction? Because like I've tried Olark, for instance, and often, myself, if I'm not engaged, and just get like no response.
Yeah. So the question is around, do you have tips for engagement on these tools? My tip, we use a tool called Snap Engage, which allows you to proactively prompt people after 15 or 30 seconds on the page. We've had good results with that. Having provocative questions can be helpful, or like where you actually make a real call for help. It doesn't always fit with the brand, so there's some risk to that. But I find just being provocative is good. The other thing is there's also pop-up survey tools. I haven't found a very good cheap one, so I tend to avoid making recommendations. But there's like 4C is kind of the big one out there, and I don't think they have a nice SMB model. But I found that pop-up surveys do get a higher response rate. I personally hate pop-ups, so I find them really annoying, but they are effective. So, and I've been noticing that a lot more companies are using pop-ups for a variety of reasons, from salvaging like cart abandonment in e-commerce, like with something like Bounce Exchange, which automatically senses when someone's leaving your site. And I don't know what they say, it feels like you're exiting away, and all of a sudden, thank you.
Sorry, I tried to fix your
thing
there, and that's what we can't.
What about SurveyMonkey?
SurveyMonkey is another great one. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. This is not exhaustive. There are hundreds of companies doing this. These are just the ones that I'm familiar with and probably best known.
I just saw one called Intercom. Have you seen that?
We use Intercom. Intercom is phenomenal.
Yeah.
But Intercom is somewhat different. Intercom is basically, in my mind, a communication tool for people who have an app. I don't tend to view it so much for for blogs or for e-commerce shops. I guess they could be used for e-commerce.
It's more for if someone's logged in,
yeah,
and then you could basically just start a chat message right there with them, right?
Yeah.
And it's
so
really cool.
We're huge fans of Intercom. It starts, I think, at $50 a month, but it's phenomenal. It's great.
Does it work on mobile, by the way?
So Intercom actually allows you to communicate in a number of ways. It's primarily email, but it also allows you to communicate in-app. But if you mean on mobile, like you mean within on.
Like somebody goes to your website. We're talking about websites, right?
Yep. Well, but like Matt said, it's more for when you've got an app where someone logs in.
Okay.
So it's when you have an ongoing relationship with the customer. It's not so much for. It's not for an anonymous visit.
I can give you an example. I saw Unbounce using it. That's how I learned about it. And I was logged in one day, and then all of a sudden I got a message from one of the guys there that said, "Hey, we have a new feature. Would you like to check it out and be a beta tester?" And I just responded, "Yes, okay," or whatever. And then he responded and gave me a link, and it was just like a chat message that was kind of overlaid on top of Unbounce.
And the thing that's great about that, and we use it in this way, is that it seems very conversational. that communication might have been entirely automated. Like we set up autoresponders, and it's not just based on people coming to their site. It's based on people taking specific actions. So when people use a certain feature on our site, we then prompt them to go deeper into it. So it's a phenomenal tool, but it's very specifically, I feel, around applications. Sorry, you've had your hand up for a moment. Go ahead.
One that I use to get the voice of the customer, but it's not for surveying. It's called usertesting.com. It's kind of like a mystery shopping of websites, and I find it. You get feedback that you just
User
blows
testing
your mind.
is phenomenal as well, and so user testing is an example of where you get like as many as you want, but you basically buy anonymous testers to look at a certain page or your site and give feedback. There's another one that we saw for a while called it escapes me, and it actually looks at eye tracking as well, and people are giving feedback. So there's a lot of tools.
Clicktail, Crazy Egg. Yeah, Crazy Egg was the other one.
Kissmetrics is more around is more of an analytics tool. It's more of like Google Analytics. Yep, exactly. Yeah.
I find that with a lot of these web.
Oh, sorry, Matt.
I find with a lot of these web quest things, get super technical into all of this, but miss something really simple: is find your top 10 clients and call them.
Yep.
And just talk to them. People like talking on the phone, even though they, on the web, they say they don't, but they actually do.
No, and yeah, that's totally true. People love it. If you can get people on the phone who have churned and chose not to buy, like you might have an account and they didn't convert, great way to talk to them. That's actually going to be my tip for talking to reporters: is don't send them an email, get them on the phone. But maybe next Friday. Okay, so you've got feedback. Now what do you do? And this is now your point in the back. And I really strongly recommend you use A/B testing. So I love hearing people wanting to make their business stronger, wanting to take steps to improve, and I cringe a little bit. There's I think a baby puppy that dies everywhere when someone makes a change to their website and they don't do an A/B test.